My name is Leonid. I did a project titled Desire Lines, and the project started with me wandering the park, the dell'Appia park, and sort of familiarizing myself with the landscape and just taking different paths that made by humans or animals, and taking paths that are off to the side of the park, and discovering things that are there, and also creating a narrative about decisions that I made, but that was also dictated by the different paths that I found. So the idea of crossing a landscape, and how does one cross the landscape, how the landscape dictates to the walker how to cross it. There's a sort of individual decisions, but also there is this predetermined decisions, and it's in the work here I made sort of landscaping scenarios where I have different matter crossing these fields that I made, and it is also presented as a sort of the whole installation is presented as a kind of a studio process that I followed because I couldn't go back into the dell'Appia because of the COVID restrictions. So the thinking about all the systems of trails and what were presented sort of been translated into the studio process, and the work has come out of that, and also from my past studio process. And so the presentation here is a kind of an attempt to make a presentation of the process, but also a presentation of the work, and a kind of narrative that exists between the lines from all these works, and how the viewer can navigate also, and what they get out of it as we move through the work. In this installation, I presented kind of a bit of my studio, and so you see a kind of a shelf with all the studio elements just sort of adding up as I'm working, and there's a kind of presentation of the process more or less, but also something that can make connections between different works. When there's a table of two tables of electrolytic cells that are doing exactly the same reaction, but the outcome, it's an experiment, but my idea is that the outcome is going to be completely different, and sort of it's this idea of the same thing producing very different results. The creative process is itself, and how does one navigate through it, and how one sort of discovers things, and what is interesting and what is discarded, and how the work of art is made.